So welcome all. And also please note, tell us, where are you from? This webinar is an international meeting and we may have guests from other parts of the world. So you might want to say where you're from. And I'm glad to see the feedback that audio is good and my video is good as well. So how are you doing, everyone? You know, we just heard the news that for the National Capital Region, the enhanced lockdown will be extended for until May 15. Well, in our industry, we tend to see the bright side of things and not the negative side of things because it's always a choice. And tonight, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. I will check also your, there's a chat box. For those of you who want to make some comments, I will be checking every now and then. If I miss some comments, please forgive me. I can't be speaking and checking at the same time. But we're going to talk about the perfect business. And I think, if I'm not mistaken today, they say that the #1 dream of a Filipino is to own their own business. It used to be own their own home, but now it's to own their own business. Especially now when everything shut down, we reflect and we try to visualize what is possible for us in terms of having a second, third, or fourth kind of income and owning a business, especially one that's not affected by the pandemic and the lockdown. Let me just see some more of the chats. Okay, I'd like to welcome optometrists. We have a number of optometrists. Welcome and nice to have you. Okay, so we'll go ahead. The perfect business was actually a very popular article. Okay, this is not an invention of mine. It is an article which came out years ago in the Dow Theory Letters. What is a Dow Theory Letters? Well, I'm not a financial expert, but I think you all know or have heard of the Dow Jones average. This is about the stocks, those who invest in stocks and money market. This is Wall Street stuff in New York. And the Dow theory is actually a theory on stock price movement. This is a form of technical analysis that started decades and decades ago. The Dow theory was derived from the journal editorials written by Charles H. Dow. You can see he is co-founder of the very popular Wall Street Journal. And there is a publication that came out of this, of the Dow Jones average, the Dow Theory Letters. Now, this is a financial and investment newsletter which helps subscribers based on the Dow theory, which analyzes stocks and money movement and other indicators. It helps them understand the financial markets. So there are people who subscribe to this publication called the Dow Theory Letters, and the editor of that is Richard Russel. So you have the picture of the founder of Wall Street Journal and the editor, the writer, the guru behind the Dow Theory Letters, an icon in the money markets and financing and all, finances and all. So Richard Russel wrote an article, well, not recently, many years ago, and it became the most sought after article. Many people wanted it to read it, and they wanted it published again and again. You might even Google that. Look for Dow Theory Letters, The Perfect Business. So Richard Russel created in his mind a theory business. So we're going to go first through those 12 or 13 points that describe what the expert Richard Russel says is a perfect business. Well, you and I know that the word perfect is a scary word because we know there's nothing perfect. But he called it the perfect business. And he also said in the beginning that no such business exists. It's just too good to be true. But if you are at home and you're in quarantine and you want to have a productive use of your time, try to imagine, what if I could own a business? What if all the roadblocks, all the obstacles for me to own my own business that I can operate at home now that there's a lockdown? What if there were no obstacles? What if I could do this? What if it could be possible? What could this business be? And Richard Russell tries to describe a perfect business. So let's go through it. And then I'm going to continue with a story after I go through the points of what is the perfect business. Remember, he didn't know. He had no real business in mind. A perfect business, first point, is it sells to the world. It doesn't just sell to one city or one country, but the business is open to the world. And I think you know that today, when most billion-dollar businesses are online with markets all over the world 24/7, their store and their business is open 7 days a week for 24 hours nonstop all over the world. That is the number one quality of a perfect business. The number two quality is it offers a product which enjoys an inelastic demand. Oh, what is an inelastic demand, you might ask? An inelastic demand is that customers or the market, people want to buy whatever product they have. Remember, Richard Russell did not have a real business in mind. He was describing in his expert mind that a product with inelastic demand is a product that people will need regardless of circumstances, regardless of whether there's a pandemic or there's a boom economy, down economy, whatever challenges and obstacles are out there, people will always want and need this product. You call that inelastic demand. In fact, he even adds, regardless of the price. So it's so important that people want to pay. It doesn't matter. They need it. Like, for example, now food. People need that. Of course, that's so basic thing. Uh, People are fighting to get alcohol and sanitizers and disinfectants and even multivitamins and supplements. Okay? Number three, it sells, sorry about that. Number three, it sells a product which cannot be easily substituted or copied. Oh, oh, I believe those are products that are patented, okay? Or there's something unique in those products that they are not, easily copied. Okay. The next, we'll get back to that later on. We're just describing the 13 points. The ideal business has minimal labor requirements. Dear friends, I failed to mention in the beginning that I and my late husband, we used to own a traditional business, the type that many people would dream about, and that's high labor intensive kind of business. We were in the food business. We were in the franchise business with hot dogs, Pure Foods, with donuts, Mr. Donut, and ice cream with Nestle. And we had stores in the commercial food courts of the Ayala malls, the SM malls, the Robinsons malls. And it was really, really high labor requirements. So if you look at my traditional business, which I run for more than 20 years, it would have a lot of weaknesses in the terms of minimal, it had a lot, I had a lot of headaches with labor then. Number 5 is low overhead. A perfect business would not have a lot of overhead. Well, that was not my experience when I run my traditional business. 20%, 15 to 20% of what we sold in the malls actually went to the rental, and it was not a fixed rental, it was a uh, percentage rental, whichever is higher. And that's difficult because if you have big sales, your rent goes up. But if your sales goes down, you still have a ceiling of rental that you need to pay. Your rent can't go down too much. And it was difficult because I had the rental, I had a payroll, I had overtime pay, I had all kinds of overhead. And I think if some of you ever tried business for yourself, you will agree that it's the overhead that kills you. But a dream business would have very small overhead. Number 6, it doesn't require big cash outlays. Well, that would be a dream, because we always perceive starting and opening a business as having to have a lot of capital. That's true. Whether you open a sari store, whether you open a 7-Eleven or a dress shop, or like me, food in the food courts of the big malls, it will require big cash outlays. In fact, good luck when you go and borrow money from the bank, because you need to pay interest for that. And well, lucky you if you have the cash and you can borrow from your parents. But when I started my traditional business, I had to borrow from banks and pay interest. And the difficulty of having big cash outlay is that if your business does not succeed and you end up losing money, you end up negative, plus you have a big loan. And then you go back to work. Usually that's what happens. A perfect business, number 7, enjoys cash billings. Well, in the food business, we didn't have to collect for cash. We didn't have IOU. Everything, we didn't have any credit. Everything was on a cash basis. It's very hard to collect money. We have some doctors on board with us tonight, and they actually admit sometimes that they have to collect their professional fees. They have not been able to collect 100% of their fees. So let's move on to look at what a perfect business requires, okay? It's relatively free of all kinds of government and industry regulations. Not too much headache with all paperwork and regulations. When I was in the food business, we had all kinds of permits. We had a mayor permit, we had the sanitation permit, we had the electrical permit, we had all kinds of requirements. We had to, of course, taxes. We all pay taxes. That's really 100% predictable. But being in the mall, we had all kinds of requirements that we had to fulfill. It was really difficult. Number 9, a real perfect business was portable, has to be portable and easily movable. You can put it in a suitcase and bring it with you wherever you go. Imagine if that is as simple as that. Number 10, it satisfies your intellectual and emotional needs. Well, I have to admit, I was in the food business for more than 20 plus years, and I got bored because what did I do? I counted ice cream cones, ice cream gallons, donuts, and hot dogs. Now, let me just ask you, how intellectually fulfilling is that? I felt I wasn't learning anything, I wasn't growing, and I wasn't developing myself to my fullest potential. Okay? Emotional needs. The desire to be able to learn and grow and overcome your emotional weaknesses like fear. I was just listening to an audiobook today, and the title of the book is Brave. So many points about how you can be brave in your life. And I was not being challenged in any intellectual or emotional way, but a perfect business would provide that. Number 11, Richard Russell's The Perfect Business says, this leaves you with free time. So you're not time poor. Some people are money poor, but other people are time poor. They have money, but they just don't have time. They don't have time to be with their family. They don't have time to learn something new. They don't have time to do some kind of work that's not related to making money. And a perfect business leaves you with free time. Okay? It's not 1 hour of work, 1 hour of pay. Number 12 is your income is not limited to your personal output. Well, that's what I mean. When you're paid by the day or by the hour or by the client or by the, again, with all due respect to our active income earners, we have professionals in the webinar, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have accountants. These people need to trade time for money. So your output is directly related to your income is directly related to your personal output, directly, because if you don't go to work you have no income. And that's exactly what many people are experiencing now, because they're not able to perform a job. Their income is zero or very, very limited. A real business does not require your personal output, if it's possible at all, or very minimal personal output. And number 13, a perfect business improves the financial, spiritual well-being of yourself, of your family, and other people. Okay, financial, that's kind of obvious, because what are we in business for but to create profit. Spiritual is not just a religious thing. Spiritual is when you get inspired, your spirit gets stirred. Okay, and you see that you are inspired when you see people overcome obstacles, overcome weaknesses. Like now we're inspired when we see the frontliners all clad with their protection and seeing patients doing COVID testing. Those are very inspiring pictures, stories, and videos. It touches your spirit. A real business, a perfect business, improves in your financial and spiritual well-being. You're inspired. It improves yourself, your family, and other people. What does that mean? Well, there was a book that came out a few years ago. It's called Halftime. And in Halftime, the book says, we all have our working years, right? And the first half is about adding value to yourself. And the second half is about adding value to other people, being a person of significance, other people, not just yourself. So Richard Russell talks about having a perfect business that can impact the well-being, the financial and spiritual well-being, not just of your family, but of other people. And that is quite rare in business, because in business, it's all about the bottom line, and it's also all about me, mine, my. Okay? I mean, I don't want to sound, you know, but isn't that what real business is? You have competition and you pray that your competitor fails. Okay? So I added something of my own experience. A perfect business builds a legacy, meaning that the business you develop or you own or you bought or you made or you built actually has so much value in it and blessings in it that you can will it, that you can will it to the generations after you, and that your business does not end with you. Well, I know some of you are very educated and very highly paid professionals, but I don't know if if you can will your profession to your children. You can will a home, you can will assets, but a perfect business is something you can will to your generations after you. Let me just check some comments here in the chat box before I move on to my story. Okay, we have pastors on board tonight. Okay, all right. Welcome, welcome. So let's go back and talk about my experience. I just described to you the perfect business. And Richard Russell said, "Wow, if only such a business exists. If only." In 1996, which is about 24 years ago, at the peak of having about 12 stores in the major malls, you know, hiring people, firing people, overhead, stress, competition, pray that your competitor's store closes down so you can get their share of business. I began to search for a plan B or a second income. And that was almost a second or third income stream at that time. And that was like 23 years ago. So it wasn't yesterday, it wasn't 2 years ago. It was long. I started to search, okay? And I prayed about it actually. I saw a business model by accident. I was never invited. I just happened to be in a room and I saw a business idea in 5 minutes. I didn't understand it. I was just looking, but something was right at that time. I was ready to learn. I had a really strong learning spirit at that time, and I was eager to, I was intrigued with the people who were involved in the business. And I'm going to show you that business tonight as I move on. The business I saw involved something which I might describe is inelastic. It never ends. It's like it's forever, totally forever. It's called Anyway Money. Anyway Money spent by millions of by millions everyday shopping on and offline. In this pandemic, you can see everything is shut down except Anyway Money, basic commodities, okay? And the question is, what if you could convert your Anyway Money from an expense into an asset? Because you're going to spend and buy Anyway Money anyway. In traditional distribution, which is the old model, the very old normal, actually, this new word, new normal, is popular today. This is the way people shop. We go to a retailer, the retailer gets the, let's say we want to buy a vitamin C. We go to the retailer and the retailer goes to the wholesaler and the wholesaler gets it from the manufacturer. Actually, I'm not going to show you numbers, but 60% of what you pay for does not go to the vitamin C. It goes to the middleman, to the distribution process, because these are big businesses. They have warehouses, they have malls, they have employees, they have advertising, they have overhead. So if your vitamin C was $100, it's actually worth 40. In 1959, when this business model started, an experiment was created to bypass the wholesalers and retailers and to connect manufacturers directly to the buying public through an association called an association of independent business owners, of which I became a part of in 1997 of April 6th when the market opened. And this association started in 1959 and is today in one country, the United States. And this association today is in 110 markets all over the world, has never failed in any market, and is the fastest growing alternative form of distribution, alternative on the planet. Okay? Let's look more at this type of distribution. Okay? Remember, our independent business owner community, we get the money of the middleman, but we are also the end user. We are also a consuming public. So we buy directly our anyway money, our basic necessities straight from the manufacturer. So we enjoy exclusive lines which are not available outside. I mean, the independent business owner community requires a membership. We enjoy a 30% discount per use. We enjoy rebates, cash, not just points, not just gift certificates. Everything is delivered to our home for 1,000 peso minimum purchase. And today, everything is ordered online. Everything is online. The whole business model operates online, entirely can be done at home. And everything we buy and you buy has a 100-day money-back guarantee. Now, if you were just a consumer, because we are all consumers, doesn't it make sense that you can buy basic necessities online, get cash rebates, savings, 30% discount, delivery at home, and a 100-day money-back guarantee, where in the mall, they won't give you even 8 days, up to 7 days lang. Here, you could return after 3 months and you have used the product halfway. You're going to get your money back. So that kind of makes sense. For me, it was a no-brainer when I saw this in 1997. But I told myself, I'm not looking for a shopping place. I'm not here for another kind of SNR or Lazada or no. Well, there was no Lazada there. Then when in 1997, of course, we didn't know that today the retail shopping is already dying. I mean, the malls, you can see what's happening in the US, especially now when the stores are closed. People are now shopping online. Everything is now online. But we didn't know that. So what I wanted was a business. I didn't just want to shop. And so I didn't also want to be a salesperson. No offense. No offense. You can sell, why not? And you can make a 30% profit margin, which is actually your discount. But you know what? Hey, I'm not saying don't sell if you love to sell. But see, I was thinking the day I stopped selling, I stopped making money again. So I wanted a business that pretty much was close to what Richard Russel was talking about, that your income is not connected to your personal output. You can invest a little time, but make a lot of money, not 1 hour of work, 1 hour of pay. So I looked closely at the idea of sharing this concept and creating a larger community of independent business owners by a professional referral system that gives me income and even royalties. Let me just check some of the chat messages. Okay, a Singaporean tycoon billionaire filed bankruptcy since the demand for oil decreased drastically globally. We just have that from Dr. Belinda. She's an OBGYN from Davao. A billionaire tycoon filed bankruptcy. Oh my gosh. this world. It's true, according to Jeng. One, and at the same time, Dr. Belinda and everybody else, you have someone as young as, what's her name, Jenner? Kai, yeah, Jenner. What's her first name? Anyway, Kylie Jenner. She's like 20 years old or 19 years old, and she's the first billionaire online. What does she do? She sells cosmetics online. Oh, wow. Amazing. So I wanted to break the rules. I didn't want a traditional business with all the heartaches and the headaches. I didn't want to go back to hiring people, firing people. I looked closely at this model, and thankfully, I got properly educated by people who were very, very successful. But I was looking at creating a willable kind of passive income, not just a passing income, an income that I could keep getting even if I'm not working. Now, how is that possible? Well, this is you, for example, and you buy your basic necessity consumables through this business model online. You're going to buy the stuff anyway. What? And remember, everything you buy has points. Here, it's about 50 pesos, 1 point, okay? Points generates into cash every month. The more points, the bigger the income. But you can only generate so many points in a month because points are computed on a monthly basis. So what you do is you try to duplicate yourself, which is the same business model as McDonald's, as Starbucks, as Jollibee. It's a business of duplication. You have one successful unit. This is called outlet of Starbucks, and they are limited by the size and the number of seats they have and the number of hours they operate, and they can't just get any bigger. So the way they grow is by duplicating. The way we grow this business is by duplicating your home. Instead of shopping on the traditional way, why not shop online and create points and share the idea with somebody who sees the logic? Or they might just say, you know what, I'm not interested in sharing, I'm just interested in shopping. Hey, fantastic. Whatever floats your boat is good. And another person duplicates, and they refer people and refer people, and you start to create an organization as big or as small as you want. You can even sponsor and refer people in other parts of the world and make income in US dollars, just like we did and we do anywhere in the world. If you own a cell phone, you can do business anywhere in the world. It's a exciting time to have technology, break so many rules, create so many possibilities when those things were impossible in the past. So how in the world can we make this how can we start this business? How can something so good be true? I mean, how? Well, okay, we have more people joining on board. No problem. This is just a part one. What looks impossible is possible because we've got some partners. And thankfully, I researched this very carefully. In 1997, I became partnered with the Amway Corporation, 8.4 billion in 110 markets all over the world, pioneer in health, beauty, and home care. There was a story similar to what Dr. Belinda said. Somebody who was building the Amway business in Indonesia, and his mentor told us that he owned oil wells in Indonesia. And people ask him, why in the world are you building the Amway business when you already own oil wells? And he said, it's very simple. Because one day the oil in my oil well will dry up. But people buying soap, shampoo, toothpaste, basic commodities, that will never stop. In fact, the market keeps on growing because the population of the world keeps growing. Amway is a debt-free company, multi-billionaire family owners. It's a family business. It's a privately owned company, so there will be no takeover. And I'm just so proud to be affiliated with the Amway Corporation. Another partner is the business school that provides the emotional and the educational, intellectual challenge of this business, a step-by-step system for creating profitable and sustainable results. Network 21 is a leadership search and development company. If not for, by the way, Amway and Network 21 are not connected, okay? Network 21 is a business system to develop a large, profitable, and permanent Amway business. And thank God I became a student of Network 21, because if not, I would have no idea on how to create this large consumer organization that we are continuing to grow even today. We're so excited, actually, even with the lockdown, we're so excited about the possibilities, because we are all now going digital. And Amway and Network 21, they are in the cutting edge of going digital, and not just going, but enhancing all this technology that will enable us to build a very, very big market. And the third partner is Syzygy, which is a company that my son and I, my late husband and I founded. And now with my son, Ryan, Syzygy is a company of independent, we're all part of Syzygy, we're independent business owners, personal guidance, we provide a personal guidance, mentorship that is focused on your success. Syzygy Philippines is us. We also have Syzygy in the US, which is my mentor, Mike Wilson. And these three partners, together with each independent business owner, works together. We all work together. And the synergy of working together is simply powerful. So let's go back quickly before we close. Is there a perfect business? Why don't we put, I'm sorry. Network 21, mobile app learning, dynamic live events. There you go. This is Network 21, and that's Dave Dornan. Network 21 has a mobile learning app. It is just phenomenal. You can attend international conventions all over the world from your phone. Live events, well, recorded, but phenomenal events. Okay, so let's review. Is there a perfect business? Let's put the Amway business to the test. Number one, does it sell to the world? Absolutely. Absolutely. 24/7 without doubt. Does it offer a product which enjoys an inelastic demand? Yes. Soap, shampoo, toothpaste, disinfectants, cleaners, vitamins, vitamin C, on and on and on. You know, you can go to the Amway website and research everything there. You can get a lot of product knowledge in the website. That's why I'm not talking about product really. Is it an inelastic demand? Without question. Number three, does your business sell a product which cannot easily but be substituted or copied? Absolutely. Do you know that Amway owns thousands of patents, including the production of the #1 vitamin food supplement in the world brand? It's called Nutrilite. Nutrilite is the only company that grows and harvests and concentrates plant from its 100% certified organic farms. And this process of converting plant into a concentrate using low heat, very, very low heat, so that the phytochemicals are not destroyed, that is a patented process. And nobody can copy that. And nobody is as big. Do we pass number three? Absolutely. Number four, there you go, double X. Okay. Excess energy drink. Okay. Number four, minimal label requirements. Are you joking me? I mean, I own a multi-million peso company that turns over millions of pesos a month, and I don't have any employee. It's just me and my son Ryan. That's wonderful. No headaches, no payroll, no overtime. Number five, low overhead. How big can my overhead be? I mean, this is my home office. I live here, so I don't pay rent, and I don't have staff. I don't pay electricity except for the electricity I normally pay in my house for aircon or whatever. So, am I operating a low overhead business? Absolutely. Number five, the Amway business passes that test. Number six, it doesn't require big cash outlay. No, it doesn't. Because all the industrial headaches, the capitalization of the business is Amway's side. We put in our human capital, not cash capital. The requirement to register is 1,000 pesos. That's all. And actually, you can also, once you're registered and you get an Amway membership, your 1,000 becomes a gift certificate you can use to buy anything you want. Maybe start with daily multivitamins, which is so important now with this pandemic. That's all. You don't need to borrow money from the bank. You don't need millions like what I did when I used to own my traditional food business. Number seven, it enjoys cash billings. Absolutely. Amway pays me my rebates every month. I don't need, on the 15th, I don't need to collect money. I don't need to go through all those headaches of running after collectibles. Number eight, it's relatively free of all kinds of government and industry regulations. Sure, I pay taxes. I declare an ITR. You know, Amway does a withholding tax, but you don't have to set up a domestic trade business. You don't have to go through all of those papers. You know, you just get an Amway membership and you're in business for yourself. It's pretty simple. A perfect business is portable and easily movable. Absolutely. You can your business can be in a laptop, everything here. You can take it anywhere in the world. You can work in the beach, you can work in the mall, you can work in your office, you can work at home. It's so portable, and now you can even work from your smartphone. Amazing. It satisfies your intellectual and emotional needs. Absolutely. Network 21 provides a book program. We have a book a month. And Syzygy, we do book sharings every week online. And this week, coming week, we have an exciting book coming up. I forgot the title, but it's about technology, how to use technology for your future, for your business, and how to be tech savvy, which we all need to be in this day and age. So Network 21 has all this leadership stuff that really makes learning so exciting. I was just telling someone yesterday, the reason why learning is exciting is because your brain produces dopamine. And dopamine is this hormone. When you learn, you produce dopamine, and dopamine is an addictive thing. You get happy. It's a happy hormone, and you get addicted to reading and learning new things, and you get so bored when you're not learning anything new. And that's exactly what Network 21 is. And 11, it leaves you with free time. Well, the Amway business is about 2 to 3 hours a day or 10 to 20 hours a week. You can weave it around your toxic schedule. You can work online. You can work in traffic. You know, something we haven't seen in almost 2 months. But it's very flexible, and you have a lot of time. Okay, because once your organization, your shopping community, grows, you don't need to be around to sell stuff. People buy stuff directly online. You don't even know that purchases are being made, but you're getting credit for the points that are generated in the community that you built. Okay. Number 12, your income is not limited to your personal output. Yeah, that's it. In fact, Amway is and unlimited income has an unlimited income potential. They've been around for 60 years and there is still no limit to the kind of income that one single person can generate. There is no limit. So you need to understand more closely how this plan works. And number 13, it improves the financial and spiritual well-being of yourself, your family, and other people. And just to make a long story short, if you understand the Amway plan, which inspired me from day one, is that we don't use people to build the business. We use the business to build people. And that our plan is set up so that the only way we can be successful is if we help other people become successful first. It's a business with a heart. It's compassionate capitalism. It's all about helping other people. And finally, it builds a legacy. Your Amway business is going to be willable to the next generation and the next and the next and the next. Even 50 generations from now. Amazing. Amazing. And your children will actually continue what you did. So they don't begin in square one. You build a big business and they continue where you stop. Or they don't continue because they're not interested, but they will continue to receive the income and even enjoy the free trips that we have been enjoying for many, many decades. Okay. Yeah, so we have some wonderful comments here. They loving books. Yeah, it's more, yeah. Someone said it's more expensive patenting a process compared to the product itself. We have someone working in a big retail establishment. Alex, thank you for that. I didn't know that patenting is more expensive than the product itself. Oh my. Okay, so we have some great comments here. So I'm ending my talk. I just showed you a perfect business. And Richard Russel, who incidentally passed away, he was the editor of the Dow Letters, and this is like popular. Many people wanted to know. He said that, well, you're not going to find a perfect business. If you find a business with most of these attributes, then go for it. That's what he said, because there's no such business exists. In 23 years that I've been building the Amway business, I can absolutely tell you it does exist. And every point that was in the Dow Letters editorial, that is absolutely true for the Amway business with the Network 21 system. Your next step is, why not register? Go back to the person who invited you to this webinar and tell them, you know what, I want to shop online. I need vitamins. I want nice stuff to disinfect my house, whatever it is. Go shopping, okay? And don't go out. Go online. They will help you sign up. You can sign up from your phone. You can sign up on a laptop, okay? You just need a few things like a credit card or a Gcash or whatever. So get back to them and ask them for audio and video material from the Network 21 mobile app. In fact, on August 27, there's going to be live streaming for a few days, and then it's going to be over. Free. If you are subscribing to the mobile app, you'll be able to hear the live streaming of very, very successful entrepreneurs here in the Philippines. Okay? And one of the talks there is my talk called Bouncing Forward, which is very different from what I do in a regular webinar. And number 3 is start up. Okay, so what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get started to build this business that can be my legacy, that can give me my financial independence? Well, there's a webinar tomorrow, and it will give you a more detailed look at the business project and how to get started, what you need to do. We're going to look at the websites where you're going to get your knowledge. We're going to show you a video on how to register yourself. We're going to go through nitty-gritty stuff in like 45 minutes. And we'll have a different speaker, but for tonight, I think that's it for me. And I would like to again end by telling you that it was a pleasure talking about the perfect business. I love teaching people about this subject because it is so real and it's quite phenomenal. And this, our company again is called Syzygy Philippines. And this is our email. Ryan that's his mobile number. And we have a website where you can check and see all the events we have every day in this lockdown situation. Every day at 8 o'clock, we have books, we have all kinds. Like tonight, we have this talk, and yesterday we had a book talk. So check out our website. And before I go, I just want to check a couple more chats. Thank you so much. Yes, the events are free. And again, we're doing this to reach out to our friends because you were not, this is not a random meeting. You were invited by somebody who is already connected with us. And again, I hope you learned something. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow at part 2.